A lot of introduction. He's just gonna go up here and do his thing. Please give it up for Michael Imhotep.
All right, thank you. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Juneteenth 2024. Everybody give it up for Lolly Mariah singing the Black National Anthem. Lift every voice and sing. That song was written in 1900 by one of my frat brothers, James Weldon Johnson, of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. It became the Black National Anthem in 1919, adopted by the NAACP because of his cry for freedom and liberation and affirmation for African Americans. But this is what Juneteenth does also. Ashe? Ashe. I'm Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network, host of the African History Network show. I'm a talk show host, researcher, lecturer, writer, historian, and national political commentator. So I was asked to come up here and drop some knowledge dealing with the real history of Juneteenth, because we have to correct the history of Juneteenth and protect the history of Juneteenth. Ashe? All right, now, we commemorate June 19th, 1865, when Major General Gordon Granger and 2,000 Union troops, most of them African-American men, go into Galveston, Texas to deliver what's known as General Order Number 3. Okay, but Juneteenth, even though it's important to celebrate it because it celebrates freedom, and it's the only federal holiday that even recognizes slavery. But Juneteenth was not the last day of slavery. Number one. Number two, the Emancipation Proclamation did not free the slaves. Number three, Maryland, Missouri, Kentucky, and Delaware were exempt from the Emancipation Proclamation. They were able to keep their slaves, okay? And what really ended slavery was the 13th Amendment, ratified December 6, 1865, when Georgia becomes the 27th state to ratify the 13th Amendment. This is why you have to understand law. Anytime we have these celebrations, we have to incorporate history, economics, law, and politics. The acronym HELP. History, economics, law, and politics. This is what I do. This is what I teach. Okay, those who used to listen to me on 910 AM Superstation WFDF for 7 years. Those who watch me every Friday on Roland Martin Unfiltered for 4 years. This is what I do. Okay, so the Emancipation Proclamation, I'm gonna let this siren go by. The Emancipation Proclamation was a military strategy used by Abraham Lincoln designed to bring the South back into the Union. Who has never read the Emancipation Proclamation? You need to read it. Now this Moore right here, he understands law. He knows what I'm talking about. All right, salam alaikum, brother. All these documents, we have to go read them. Go to archives.gov, the U.S. National Archives. All the documents are there. Go to congress.gov, U.S. National Congress. All the documents are there. LOC.gov, Library of Congress. The Emancipation Proclamation stated that the territories and states in rebellion against the Union, those slaves would be set free January 1st, 1863. But the border states, Maryland, Missouri, Kentucky, and Delaware, they were allowed to keep their slaves. Now, Maryland did not abolish slavery until November 1st, 1864. That's almost 2 years after Juneteenth. Why don't they tell us that in the media? Because you're going to hear a lot of media coverage of Juneteenth, and they're going to say it was the last day of slavery. Now, there were 250,000 enslaved Africans in Texas. All of them didn't get the word on June 19th, 1865. June 19th was the agreed upon date to commemorate them getting the word, but it took almost a year for Major General Gordon Granger and the 2,000 Union troops to go all throughout Texas and physically take Texas back, bring it back into the Union. It took military force, okay? They weren't riding in Escalades and Hummers, they were on horseback. You can't get that word out to everybody, 250,000 people and their slave owners in one day. So it's important to commemorate it because it commemorates freedom. It celebrates freedom and it brings us together. Now, why did the 13th Amendment have to come into existence? Because you had to amend the U.S. Constitution because the U.S. Constitution sanctioned slavery. And then Kentucky and Delaware, they didn't abolish slavery until December 18th, 1865, when the 13th Amendment was adopted. So when you hear media coverage, and each year when Juneteenth takes place, especially after the killing of George Floyd, because May 25th, 2020, the next month, we were going through the pandemic, a lot of people were at home. So a lot of people first found out about Juneteenth all across the country. We had all these celebrations. And I keep hearing people in the media, MSNBC, CNN, local media, saying this is when slavery ended. I'm saying, no, if you actually read the original documents, that's not true. So we have to protect the history of Juneteenth and correct the history of Juneteenth. And we have to use Juneteenth. One of the reasons why it's so important is because it forces a national conversation about a history that people are passing laws in states to suppress the teaching of that history in school. So it forces this in their face. It forces the conversation. It exposes the lies, okay? And we have to use Juneteenth as a tool to repair the damage of 246 years of slavery, decades of Jim Crow segregation, redlining, housing discrimination, etc., or reparative justice. So your understanding of politics is directly related to your understanding of history. You can't separate the two, okay? All right, so I want to thank you for your attention. Come see me for my flyers. I will be at the Joseph Walker Williams Center tomorrow. I'm on a panel discussion. I think 3:30. I have my vendor booth there. I just recorded a new lecture that's about 3 hours dealing with the deep history of Juneteenth and how to utilize it for our liberation as well. So check me out tomorrow. I'm going to wrap it up with that. Give yourself a round of applause for coming out today. I'm Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network, host of the African History Network show. Peace.
If you like this type of information, visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. You can register for this full online course, and it's 10 multi-week sessions, okay? And we have a few more sessions left. Now, we do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. So our next sessions are today, June 1st. We're going to start up in a few minutes as soon as I finish this broadcast. So you can join us at our online school. This is taught at our online school, the African History Network online school, June 8th and June 22nd, 2024. All right. And here's the flyer as well. The classes are on sale, $60, regularly $130. We do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. As soon as you register for this course, you can go back to class number 1. You can watch all the class sessions. They're archived. I do a PowerPoint presentation. We have book references, articles, video clips. I show you excerpts of interviews I've done with many of our scholars as well, like Professor James Small and Tony Browder and Runoko Rashidi, etc. You can look at our class lesson plan here as well. I've been teaching this class on and off since 2007. I've been studying history 34 years. I put together an extensive class lesson plan that takes you through each class session to show you an outline of the type of content that we cover. You can download the class lesson plan as well to help you in your studies, help you in your research also, okay? We have a preview of the class here as well. And then my second class that starts up. Now we got information for my my online show, my radio show, the African History Network show as well. Facebook, YouTube, download the iHeartRadio app. You can listen to podcasts also. But my new class starts up class number 1 starts up Sunday, June 23rd. Black resistance movements from the Haitian Revolution, U.S. Civil War, Civil Rights Movement, and Black Power Movement, 1800 to 1968. Now, this is a fantastic class, and this class actually helps us to understand what is taking place right now in America with the attack on diversity, equity, and inclusion, with the attack on critical race theory, with the attack on voting rights, anti-Black laws being passed, all of this. This class right here, and I developed this class. I first started teaching this in late 2021. And I created this class because what I realized was the first class that I taught, I had so much information to cover. I did not have a chance to really dig in deep into this period of history from 1800 to 1968 to understand what leads to the U.S. Civil War taking place. What happens during the Reconstruction era, 1865 to 1877? We look at policies like the Missouri Compromise of 1820. We look at the Haitian Revolution, okay, 1791 to 1804, and we start with the Haitian Revolution and the Louisiana Purchase of 1803 because those two events are those two events are connected. Okay, the Louisiana Purchase, the reason why, one of the reasons why it took place was because of the Haitian Revolution and Napoleon Bonaparte and the French getting their behinds kicked by the Haitians. Okay, so we take you through our history and look at this history chronologically. All right, so we look at the Missouri Compromise. We go look at the Mexican-American War, 1846, 1848. Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo of 1848, which is how the U.S. gets California, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and Nevada. Okay. This is how they get all of this territory. And we see what leads to the U.S. Civil War taking place. South Carolina is the first state to secede from the Union, December 20th, 1860, 6 weeks after Abraham Lincoln becomes president-elect. And you have them, the South thinking that Lincoln is going to free the slaves. So we look at the U.S. Civil War. We look at the Reconstruction era, 1865, 1877. And African Americans get voting rights. You have the 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment, 15th Amendment to the U.S. Constitutions. And then we see with the Compromise of 1877, we're going to see a lot of those rights reversed. And we see an attack on voting rights today, continuing the attack on voting rights and rights that African Americans were given that took place during the Reconstruction era. We see that we can draw a straight line from the January 6, 2021 insurrection that took place, not just because of the election of Biden-Harris and the big lie being pushed. That's part of it, but also January 5th, 2020, January 5th, 2021, the day before the January 6th election, you had the special Senate election in Georgia, a former Confederate state, where Senator Raphael Warnock, the African-American man, won his reelection to the U.S. Senate. And you had Senator John Ossoff, who's a Jewish man. He won, and a Democrat, he won his senatorial election. And this gave Democrats control of the Senate, a slim majority in the Senate, with Vice President Kamala Harris being a tie-breaking vote. All right. So you had Donald Trump, who was saying that African Americans, he was saying that people were cheating in Detroit, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Atlanta, Georgia. And these are cities that have high African American populations. I live 4 minutes away from what was known as the TCF Center, which is where they were doing the vote count in downtown Detroit. Okay, I saw what was I saw the protest going on outside and how you had these Trump supporters out there. Okay, you can draw a direct line from the collapse of Reconstruction and the political violence that helped bring an end to Reconstruction and what's taking place right now. Okay, so we deal with this in these two classes. Visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. You can register for these classes right now. You can join us in class today because we have a few class sessions left of my main class that I teach called Ancient Kemet, one of the original names for Egypt, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. Okay, so it's on sale $60, regularly $130. Like I said, we do the click right here to register here. We do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. You can go back and watch it anytime. The content is PG-13, so you can use this content